So today, as I'm recording this, it is Saturday. Of course, football is going on right now, and I earlier was just sitting down on my bed, just relaxing, watching some football on my TV, and I was watching some stuff on my iPad, like watching some YouTube on my iPad, and also checking some stuff out on my phone, on Instagram, on social media. And I'm constantly seeing stuff with fans not being happy with WrestleMania 43 being at Saudi Arabia. Of course, remember, if you guys know, I did do a video on this. It was Thursday when the rumors came out, and then of course they officially finally announced it on Friday yesterday with a live stream press conference announcing that WrestleMania 43 will be in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia for the first time, being the first time ever WrestleMania will be outside of North America. But as I was looking, but of course, it kind of got me to the question of why people don't like WWE shows being in Saudi Arabia, or even WrestleMania being in Saudi Arabia. Because myself, really, I've never really been a big hater on wrestling being in Saudi Arabia, because I don't know that much about Saudi Arabia. So I looked it up, and there is a good bit more stuff, really. And it's just a lot. I don't really want to get too much into it, really, in this video. Because, really, I want to talk about one thing in this video that I saw, which was an interesting article by Yahoo Sports that was actually posted not that too long ago, about a couple hours ago today, called WWE Fans Rejecting Saudi WrestleMania Like The Rock Taking Cody Rhodes' Spot at WrestleMania 40. Now, that title was pretty interesting when I saw it, and so I looked at it, and when I looked and read through it, I mostly thought to myself, I want to try to make a quick video. So I'm about to try to make 2 videos, and probably have 2 videos come out on today, so it's just going to kind of be wild. Just what I read on this article, there's just a lot of stuff I kind of want to say with what this article says. So before I get into the video, of course, welcome to the BrewCrew channel, before I get into it. And before I get into it, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I do wrestling videos and wrestling content like this a little bit, and I'll also do football content as well. For my football fans who do kind of watch my videos, I will also have some probably later on tonight, probably late tonight at some point, I will have a review video for the LSU Florida game. Game's not on right now. I have a little bit longer, but anyway, enough about football. Let's get into this video and let's get into this article. So, of course, as the title said, that this is a feeling the fans are giving to WWE, like how fans were back in 2023 with Cody Rhodes' spot being taken from The Rock. If you guys don't remember that, it was definitely a big deal and was a big thing. I definitely remember that, and I remember everybody saying we want Cody, and of course, it ended up happening. Of course, we know what happened at WrestleMania 40 for Night 1 and Night 2. It was a crazy event. It was a crazy time to be a wrestling fan. But let's go on to see what, of course, this article says. This article was of course made not that too long ago, earlier today, around 11:30 earlier today, I should say, around that time. So sorry. By Jason Burgos is who, of course, made this article by Yahoo Sports. I'll probably leave a link in the description to this article if you guys want to go check it out. So definitely go check it out. The link will be down in the description. Let's continue and let's actually read through it. So first, it goes on to say, unsurprisingly, WWE fans are not thrilled about the company taking a huge amount of money to bring WrestleMania 43 to Saudi Arabia in 2027, and they are letting their unhappiness be known. We'll get to that in a minute as well. So, of course, on Friday, the rumors became reality as the company officially announced plans to bring WrestleMania to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in 2 years in 2027. And mostly, of course, I'll pop on the screen for you guys to read it. It mostly just goes on to say, like I said before, this being the first ever time the big show WrestleMania will be outside of the out of North America, like of course the States and Canada. So the first time ever. But this next thing kind of it gets interesting. So mostly it has been well established that WWE receives tens of millions of dollars for the events in Saudi Arabia each year. Following the news about WrestleMania 43, PW Insider's Mike Johnson reported the company is getting a mind-blowing amount to do the event in Riyadh. Rumors suggest it could be north of $200 million. That's, of course, a lot of money. That is definitely a lot of money for just this one show. But then it goes on to say, this is definitely an interesting part of this first section. WrestleMania being taken out of North America will rub many the wrong way, but the first outside the continent, not being in places like France or England, which have huge WWE fan bases, further proves the company's decision was a pure money grab. And that is bothering the promotion's devoted fan base. So mostly, real quick, before we continue, I want to stop there with that big thing. Now, mostly, of course, this is not saying that fans are not liking WrestleMania being outside of North America. They've been wanting that for many years, just not at Rhea. Even though I said in my first video when I talked about this, that I said it was a matter of time because of this big relationship they have with Saudi, that they were going to do a WrestleMania. But we just didn't know when, and we didn't know it was going to be coming this quickly. And because they are offering, or they are showing that there's going to be a lot of money involved, WWE is getting the cash grab and wanting to do and doing WrestleMania 43 at Saudi. And that's what fans are complaining about. That's what fans are complaining. That's what people are saying. That's the reason why. And, I mean, I can kind of see it that way. I'm not really big into all this stuff that's happening with WWE. The only thing I care about is just to watch the show and try to make these videos as well. But this is just interesting to talk about because I also agree that really, if they wanted the first WrestleMania to be outside of the continent, of course, internationally, France and, of course, England in the United Kingdom, or anywhere in the United Kingdom, or anywhere in Europe, could have been great. London has been a place that I have seen fans say is a perfect place to do WrestleMania because of the fans and because of just the scenery of the place. And it would be really big because, of course, Europe fans are really big WWE fans. I mean, just listen to the crowds at Clash in Paris and the Backlash in France back in 2023 or 24. No, 24, yes. I blanked out for a second. My ears got mixed. Anyway, so like those fans are always rowdy. Those fans can definitely blow the roof off the place, and that, of course, is what's perfect for WrestleMania is the crowd. The crowd is a perfect thing for WrestleMania. And I'm not personally saying that the Saudi crowd is not that great. Yes, the Saudi crowd in some shows are definitely great. They can go wild. I mean, the Saudi crowd was a great crowd for Night of Champions, especially for the main event between Punk and Cena. But I just don't know, and probably some fans just don't know how these fans are going to be really for a big show like WrestleMania. But also, there's just the other concerns with Saudi. Like I said before, there's other concerns with it. Most importantly, sort of with the women's wrestlers, because remember, the first couple Saudi Arabia shows did not have any women's wrestlers because that apparently was a rule that they did not want women's wrestling. But they finally did women's wrestling, but the only thing that Saudi Arabia, the kingdom, or whoever it is that said, okay, they can still do women's matches. The women can only wear full clothes gear to cover up their arms and their legs. Full clothes. And that's what people are saying online, that it's going to look weird when the Royal Rumble comes and the Women's Royal Rumble happens. It's just going to look weird with all these women's wrestlers having to wear long-sleeved gear because of this rule with Saudi Arabia. I've never found a problem with it, but I mean, I can understand why fans don't like it. But again, this is not, but also I do want to say, this is not, again, not fans saying that they didn't want WrestleMania to be outside of North America. That's something that fans have been wanting for years and years, even probably before I even started watching wrestling back in 2017. So many fans have been wanting WrestleMania to go outside of the States, outside of North America. And London had always been that one that could do WrestleMania. So that's what's eking and bothering these fans, these devoted fans of WWE right now, because of them deciding to do Saudi Arabia over these other big places like in the UK or even in France, who are better devoted fans and better crowd, in my opinion, than a Saudi crowd. Not saying that even if they did do that, they still would have probably done a Saudi Arabia WrestleMania. But they kind of do it this quick and not do it over a crowd like in the UK or in France definitely is bothering to a lot of fans who have been wanting a WrestleMania in those countries. So to quickly kind of ended off, the second part of it, of course, goes on to WWE fans push back against WrestleMania 43 in Saudi Arabia. So mostly it just kind of goes on to say, I'll probably put on the screen or whatever, but this first thing I might put on the screen, and I'll talk. So for WWE's live stream for the WrestleMania 43 press conference, the comment section was filled with negative thoughts on the news and "you sold out" remarks. And the video reportedly has over 32,000 dislikes. That wasn't the only place where WWE fans let it be known they felt the company sold out. Now, before I get to that, this is mostly them going back to people saying, and what this article is saying, that WWE is doing this in Saudi because of the money, which is kind of what I said a little bit in my first video, is like, they're mostly just doing this because of the long-term relationship that they've had with Saudi Arabia, and of course how big the money will be, because they see how big how much money and how big the money was in the previous shows they've done at Saudi Arabia. And so for the biggest show like WrestleMania to bring in this big amount of money, they're going to go for it either way. They're going to go for it either way. Whether there's a good chunk or even all of the fans are not going to like it, and they could say this is definitely going to help fans probably internationally. It could, yes, probably, yeah. It could have helped more if it was in the UK, but, I mean, that's just my opinion, probably other people's opinion. But that's, of course, one of the reasons why fans are saying they sold out, because they're just doing Saudi Arabia so they can get cash and money from it. Because it's a big money grabber for them, which it definitely is. And I kind of said this in my previous video, even if we're not liking that Saudi Arabia is going to host WrestleMania, there are still going to be fans, probably myself, are going to still watch this WrestleMania, depending on how this WrestleMania is going to be booked. But mostly, it just kind of goes on to say, really to kind of sum it up, these rests, because I don't want this video to be too much longer. Mostly just goes on to say that, of course, later on in the day yesterday at Worlds Collide, which was the AAA and WWE event, there was, when the video package hyping up the WrestleMania show for Saudi, there was literal fans starting to chant, "You sold out." Now, I didn't watch the show, so I didn't really hear anything. I didn't really watch the show last night, so I didn't hear the fans or anything like that. But then it kind of also goes on to be like, this is sort of the similar situation that we saw the fans be when they saw that Roman Reigns and The Rock was going to be the big main event and not Cody and Roman running it back in a rematch. Which I also didn't like, because of one simple thing, was because when he won the Rumble, he turned around after pointing at the WrestleMania sign, turned around and pointed at Roman Reigns, already showing that he was going to go after Roman. But then they were like, no, it's going to be a bigger money grab of a match if we do Roman and The Rock, which still is and is still on the table, at least for some fans. So it was just a whole crazy thing where the fans saying we want Cody and all that. And of course, as we know now, how WrestleMania 40 went. I'm not going to go too much into detail because I don't want this video to go too much longer. But anyway, to all sum it up, what this is saying, and to sum it up really, probably the title of this video, fans are not happy with WrestleMania 43 being in Saudi Arabia. And I gave you some of the reasons why. There's other reasons why fans have never actually not only been fans of Saudi Arabia being host for WrestleMania, but shows being in Saudi Arabia. Y'all can look it up yourselves. I don't really have time right now to go into those points. Again, I will leave a link to this website in the description down below if you guys want to go check it out. Definitely go check it out. It's very interesting. So definitely go check it out yourselves. Again, the link for it will be down in the description below. Also in the description below is, of course, my X account and the Instagram, so definitely go follow those as well. Links to those, again, will be down in the description below. Of course, if you can already tell, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. If you made it this far in the video, thank you guys for making this far. Again, go check out the website on Yahoo Sports, link in the description as always. I know I've been saying that a lot, but I'm going to go ahead and end here. I've been talking too much. My throat is hurting for talking for so long. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did enjoy the video, hit that like button. Again, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell for future upcoming videos on the channel. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have a blessed day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.